Hello and welcome back to our weekly webcast, our partial webcast. Today's class is sponsored by Barry and Sharon Schechter in honor of Barry's father, Avram Zalman ben Miriam. His birthday is celebrating today. I don't know how many years that is.
78.
78. May he be well and strong till 120. May he celebrate many more birthdays with his family in good health.
Amen.
Amen.
This week, once again, is a double portion. Acharei and Kedoshim. Now, in these two portions, just to give a very quickly two-minute synopsis, it begins with the laws of Yom Kippur, with the service in the temple of Yom Kippur. The first half of the first portion. Second half of the first portion, he goes through all the prohibited sexual relations that the Torah limits us. By the way, in it says very clearly about homosexuality, that it's an abomination, it's prohibited, and so on. But it goes through all the different relations that are prohibited. Which, by the way, is an interesting thing, because in one portion it goes from the highest of the high, Yom Kippur, to the lowest of the low, the forbidden relations. Why would that be? I mean, couldn't you bring us into something a little less? You go from the highest moment down to, and by the way, something else, something very interesting here as well. Happens to be that on Yom Kippur we read 2 times the Torah. Once in the morning and once by Mincha in the afternoon. What do we read in the morning? Naturally, we read the portion of this week's portion which talks about the service in the temple of the holy day of Yom Kippur. What do we read in the afternoon? The second half of this portion about the forbidden relations. And why? Why on Yom Kippur do we mix these two things? They're no relation whatsoever. I mean, we're in such a high spiritual day, talking about what intimate relations we're not allowed to have, like anyone's interested in that Yom Kippur. You're fasting, you're in heaven, you're one with God, that's what you have to tell me. Don't leave that for tomorrow, next day, next month. You should tell, on Yom Kippur, that's where my head is there. Is that where my head is? I doubt anyone's head is there. But there's an interesting point here. It's in one portion, and we read them both in one day because the message is important. The message is as follows: Yom Kippur is only Yom Kippur if that holiness is not drawn down to the lowest and the last detail of your life. It's all nothing. It's not real. If you can't take the highest moment of your life and allow it to inspire the lowest aspects of your inner, your inner nature, then it's not real. If Yom Kippur was real, 6 months later, Tuesday would be real. The problem is, by us, we know that Yom Kippur comes and goes, and the day after Yom Kippur, we're back to exactly where we were the day before Yom Kippur. Why is that? Because Yom Kippur wasn't real. It wasn't not. I wouldn't say that it wasn't real, but it wasn't. You didn't prepare, or maybe some didn't. I'm not saying everyone. Let me talk about myself. We don't prepare. We don't come in with the proper attitude. It came upon us, right? It just happened upon us. When it happens upon you, you can't wait till it's over. Isn't that true? Who says I can't wait till Yom Kippur is over? A lot of people.
People are hungry.
What?
People are hungry.
People are hungry. It's not only people that are hungry. Some people could say it about Rosh Hashanah also. I can't wait till this is over. It's too spiritual. When is this over already? When are we back to normal?
It's a tough day.
Some people. It's because it happens upon you. So the point is that if Yom Kippur was a real experience, it would would translate, it would influence every aspect of your life. So that's why in the one portion he has the two opposites. Because that's the message of Judaism. The second portion is the portion of Kedoshim, and in it there are many, many mitzvahs. Hard to even give a synopsis, because every verse is another mitzvah. It begins with the God telling the Jewish people, you have to be holy. What does it mean to be holy? What does it mean you have to be holy?
Not to be unholy.
What does it mean to be unholy? So there's two ways of thinking. You ask the average person, what's unholy? Speaking Lashon Hara, talking gossip.
Gossip, I want that burger from Burger King.
Sometimes it's a message. Not eating kosher. And lying and cheating and whatever, not being honest, all kinds of unholy things. So a person that's honest and keeps kosher and does the mitzvahs is holy. But the Ramban, Nachmanides, says something very interesting over here. The mitzvah to be holy is not the mitzvah to keep kosher. That's a separate mitzvah. If being holy was synonymous with with keeping the mitzvahs, then there wouldn't be a mitzvah be holy. Because you already have all the other mitzvahs. What's this additional mitzvah be holy? Right? It's like in a marriage, right? I'll refer back to a marriage. You say to a person, what's the mitzvahs of a marriage? The wife should do her things. The husband should do his things. He should bring in a good livelihood and what else? And help around in the house, clean up from the table. And what's the wife's responsibility? To cook and to run the household. And so on. You detail what their responsibilities are. Okay? Then the rabbi tells you there's another mitzvah that you have to know. You have to be loyal. What is loyal? To take out the garbage and to help around in the house. So you didn't tell me anything new. That you told me already before. So what do you tell me not to be loyal? You just tell me a general statement which represents the same things you told me in the details, right? So obviously it can't mean those things. If it's a separate mitzvah, it means something else. Right? So holy cannot mean keeping kosher. Because that's a separate mitzvah. You don't need a mitzvah. You don't have to tell me a second time in different words. So when you tell me be holy, it doesn't mean to keep Shabbos, because that we already have in a different verse. It means something else. It must mean what does it mean, be holy? Anyone?
To be pure.
Be pure. So the Rambam says something. Nachmanides. He says being holy means very much similar to what we spoke before. He says you can be religious, but the most unholy person in the world. That's what he says. In his words, you can be a novel b'shus ha'torah. But I don't know how you translate the word novel in the literal translation of the word, but basically it means you can be a despicable human being.
Novel is naval?
Naval. Oh. You can be a despicable human being, all with the permission of the Torah.
A creep. Like a creep.
A creep with the permission of the Torah. With the permission of and it's all sanctioned by Torah.
How?
How?
I mean, you can't lie.
No, not lie. No, doesn't mean lie.
Just your thoughts.
You can talk Lashon Hara with the permission of the Torah. Because the Torah says if 3 people know it, it's not Lashon Hara anymore. For example, right? If you're gossiping, you're telling, "Ooh, did you hear what this and this person did?" So usually we call that Lashon Hara. It's not nice to speak about someone else, negative things. But the law is, if 3 people know it already, it's public knowledge. It's not Lashon Hara. Everyone knows. It's public already.
You can gossip.
So you can have people gossiping all day long and they're not violating the law of Lashon Hara. He's despicable with the permission of the Torah. they're not holy.
Right.
Not at all. You can keep kosher and be the most despicable glutton in the world. Right? Is a glutton holy?
No.
He's not eating anything treif.
No.
He's eating all. He's a glutton.
No.
So that's, see, you can be a low life. I don't want to know. I don't know what the right translation of no, despicable with the permission of the Torah. It's all sanctioned by Torah. You're not violating. You can be religious, but to be a despicable person. Kedoshim tiyu means to be holy. It means going beyond the regular laws of the Torah. There's a mitzvah in the Torah to sanctify yourself with that which is permissible. What does that mean? So there's an old Hasidic statement. We read it in the Hayom Yom a few weeks ago. Hayom Yom is a book that the Rebbe wrote, his first book, I believe. With every day there's another Hasidic statement. To live with that day. So one of the entries he has a statement that goes like this. He says, he quotes the elder Hasidim of the past generations who used to say the following: that which is prohibited, it goes without saying you can't do it. It's prohibited, you can't do it. And that which is permitted, you don't have to. That which is prohibited, you're not allowed to. And that which is permitted, you don't have to. What's the meaning of this? Well, for example, what's permitted? What's prohibited? To steal, to eat chazer, to eat pork, to speak during davening. And that's a given, that you're not allowed to. Hashem said no is no, there's no question. But then there's things you're allowed to. You're allowed to eat 18 pies of pizza in one day. Kosher pizza. You're allowed it. You're allowed it. You're allowed to go to a restaurant and have a pizza party like you never saw. Order 18 pies. I remember there was someone in Crown Heights who used to come to the pizza shop and he used to say, I need to give me a pie and a tab. You remember there used to be the stove and tab? It was diet, like today, Diet Coke. He wants a whole pie of pizza with a Diet Coke, you know.
I thought you're not supposed to eat more than your body needs.
That's exactly right. That's the point. Even what your body needs. You know, there was an old, I'll tell you a story. There was a chassid, his name was Rabbi Spalter Simchovich. You hear? No. This is a story that happened in Jerusalem. Rabbi Spalter Simchovich was a chassid of the previous Rebbe. And he went to Israel, he moved to Israel in the 30s, probably, maybe even in the 20s. Probably in the 30s. Moved to Israel. But he was a chassid of the old-timers, you know, in Lubavitch. So he came to Jerusalem, that's where he lived. So he used to daven on a Shabbos from morning till the Shkia, till the sundown. A whole day he davened. Shachos. Took him 8 hours he davened. Shachos was an 8-9 hour experience. Naturally, when he finished davening at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in the winter was then, in the summer it could have been 7 o'clock in the afternoon. So what's left in the shul already to eat, to make Kiddush, and everyone already went home, they're already back from their nap. And he didn't even make Kiddush yet. The chont is already, they're... So what's left? The kichlach, there's nothing left in shul. So what was left on the table? 2 pieces of broken bread, like 2 little crumbs, not crumbs, but a few pieces of broken up. So he would make his Kiddush, and then you have to have 2 loaves on Shabbos, right? A double portion, because the manna fell on Friday for Shabbos. You have 2 challahs, but there was no 2 whole challahs. The law is that you have to have 2 whole challahs. But he came already in the afternoon. There was nothing left of it. No, in the house he certainly didn't have anything. He wasn't going to go home because it was already by the end of Shabbos. So whatever was left on the table, that's what he ate. So there was one Jew there, Yerushalayim Yid there 1 year. 1 week, I mean. And he sees him, he just took off his talis, he's finished Shachar, he couldn't believe it. But he knew that he davened late, but he never saw him finishing davening. This week he saw him finishing davening. So he watched. He saw that he went over and made Kiddush. Late in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Finished davening, made Kiddush. Now he's waiting to see how he's going to now break bread on the challah, 2 challahs. He thought maybe he'll go to his bag somewhere. He has 2 whole challahs. He sees, he goes to wash his hands for the bread. He comes back to the table, takes the 2 little pieces over there, he puts them together, and he eats it. This already for the Yerushalayim Jew is too much for him already. It says in Shulchan Jewish law you have to have 2 full challahs. This is Rabbi Spalter, he says. His name was Rabbi Spalter. He's a Lechem Mishnah. You need 2 challahs. What's going on with you? So you know what he answered him? He said, this is also too much. This is also too much. That was Rabbi Spalter. This is also too much. You're telling me I need more? I need less, believe me. This is already too much.
He read Tanya.
That's exactly right. He didn't only read Tanya, he lived Tanya. He lived Tanya. Kedoshim to you is holy. That's holy. Yes, I'm allowed to have all the goodies of life. There's no prohibition. But Kedoshim to you means to sanctify yourself with that which is permitted. With that which is prohibited, there's no question. With that which is permitted, don't just take it because of here. You have a cookie, you have to eat it. Just because it's good. Do you need it? You don't need it. You want it. Your stomach wants it. Your animal soul wants it. You don't. Sanctify it. If you're going to eat it, make it holy. Make it a holy experience. I'll tell you one other Hasidic statement. We know that you're supposed to always do mitzvahs meticulously, right? For example, on Sukkot, yeah? You can buy an esrog for $50, but you can buy an esrog for hundreds of dollars, right? A beautiful esrog. You can buy matzahs in Publix. You can buy matzahs from the shul. It's a shmura matzahs for another $20 a pound. But it's shmura matzah, it's a better matzah. You can buy tefillin for $250. You can buy tefillin for $2,000. Every mitzvah we do with great alacrity, we try to beautify, do it the best. There's an old Hasidic saying, that is true with all the mitzvahs that your body has no pleasure. The mitzvahs that your body has pleasure from it, over there you don't have to do it meticulously. There you don't have to go beyond the call of duty, right? Yeah, someone can come and say, over here I'll be a maham to do it the most, spend more money on that mitzvah, right? Over there now. And the mitzvah that your soul enjoys, that you do with, spend more money, do more. The mitzvah that your body also enjoys specifically, over there you don't have to go beyond the call of duty. Even the call of duty is too much. That's what Rabbi Spalter was saying. It's a very difficult. It's a higher level of divine worship. It's the Tanya's program. The Tanya is not only interested in good versus evil. It's about good versus godly. Understand? It's a different battle. The Tanya started it's a new battle. It's not a battle between good and evil. It's a battle between good and godly. The Alter Rebbe defined good in different terms. To him, good meant godly. If it's not godly, it's not good. You understand? Kedoshim means to be holy and sanctify yourself. Get a little closer to God. Not only by doing mitzvahs. That's easy. It's when you're not doing mitzvahs, with that which is permitted to you, not which is obligated to you. In those issues that you're obligated to do, that's obviously it's a mitzvah. There's nothing closer than doing a mitzvah. But he's saying, become closer to God in the non-mitzvah arena. In that which is permitted, not obligated. You're allowed to sleep at night, right? 8 hours a night, right? Nothing. There's no mitzvah to sleep. Is there a mitzvah to sleep anywhere? No mitzvah. You have to, but it's not a mitzvah. So you're allowed to. And you're encouraged to. You cannot. But you can sleep you can sleep and you can sleep. You can engage in eating, intimacy, all kinds of permissible activity. But you have to sanctify it, not just... You have to make sure you're not just not violating God's will. You have to make sure that you're not violating your sanctity. That's what the Ramban says. You can be a despicable person, all with the sanction of the Torah. And you can pray. It's all according to the code of Jewish law.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sure.
I thought that was an oxymoron.
It's not an oxymoron. You can be a religious person and so far from God, you can't imagine.
That's good to know.
It's very true. No, I'm not talking about a person that violates the Torah. Then he's not religious. You're talking about, if you think I mean that there's people that daven and learn, but they steal in business, that's not a religious person. That's a violation of the Torah. I'm talking about someone that never violates. He's not violating. Not violating. But he's so into himself in the permissible arena. He's so involved. He's so you could be a glutton, and you can quaff wine, and you can be involved in lowly behavior, not sinful, but lowly. You know what lowly means? Animalistic. It's not negative. It's not prohibited. It's not a sin. But it's worse. Sometimes it could be. It's the ultimate sin. All right. May Hashem help. I know I went short tonight because we went long in the first class, but this is a very powerful portion, concept. We should succeed at least a little bit in our life, sanctifying ourselves. Have a good night.